She knocked on my door just after midnight. When I opened it, I saw her, my niece, 11 years old, eyes swollen, skin mottled in purples and blues, her lips trembling as she whispered, "Mommy's new husband beat me." The words lodged like shrapnel in my chest. I crouched, my hands hovering over her bruises, afraid to touch, afraid of breaking her further. Her small frame shook. My sister had remarried a man I didn't trust. I had told her once, she ignored me. Now, the evidence stood bleeding on my doorstep. Rage wanted to roar. Instead, I swallowed it, cold, controlled. I took her inside, wrapped her in a blanket, listened to her shallow breathing while my thoughts twisted into something sharp. Minutes later, I was at their house. He opened the door, tall, smirking, his voice too quick. I did nothing, she just fell. Behind him, my sister stood silent, eyes cast down. No denial, no defense. I turned toward my niece. "You're coming with me." But he blocked the door, his frame filling it like a barricade. "She ain't going nowhere." His snarl was low, possessive. I didn't move, didn't blink, because I had already decided. She was leaving with me, one way or another. Driving home with my niece that night, her fragile head leaning against the car window, I replayed every warning I'd ever given my sister. "He's dangerous. He's manipulative." She brushed me off. "He's good with her," she had said. "He provides." But providing comes easy when the currency is fear. I noticed the way my niece flinched at sudden movements, how she hesitated before speaking, like each word might trigger punishment. These weren't just bruises on her skin, they were bruises on her spirit. And my sister? The betrayal was double-edged. She had chosen silence. She had chosen him over her own daughter's safety. The denial stung worse than his violence. Yet I didn't shout at her. I didn't storm into her life waving accusations. I understood something she didn't. Monsters thrive in shadows. You don't scare them away with noise. You drag them into the light. So I began collecting shadows. I started quietly. Photographs of the bruises, dates, times, medical reports hidden behind accidents. I spoke to neighbors who whispered about shouting through thin walls, about doors slammed hard enough to rattle windows. My niece told me pieces in fragments, his hand across her face, the belt, the threats whispered in the dark. She cried but kept talking as though the truth itself was a release. Each detail I recorded with military precision. At family dinners, I said nothing. I watched him pour himself drinks, boast about money that wasn't his, laugh too loud. My sister smiled beside him, a smile stitched with desperation. She thought I'd given up. He thought I was weak. But weakness is often mistaken for patience, and patience was my weapon. When the folder grew thick enough, dates, photos, witness statements, medical notes, I felt it, the shift. I wasn't reacting anymore. I was preparing. I filed the petition quietly, contacted child services, sent the package to the district attorney with no return address. He was still laughing in his living room when the storm gathered against him. The call came 2 weeks later. He had been summoned. Investigators at his door, police asking questions. My sister, bewildered, cornered, forced to face the evidence she had chosen to ignore. I didn't go that day. I didn't need to. But when she finally came to me, eyes swollen from crying, hands shaking, she asked, "Was it you?" I didn't answer. I didn't need to. I slid the folder across the table. Everything inside. Every bruise. Every lie exposed. She opened it, page by page. Her face drained. Tears blurred the ink. She couldn't deny it anymore. Her silence cracked into sobs. But I didn't comfort her. because comfort belongs to the innocent. Days later, I visited him, not in secret, not at night, in daylight, calm. He opened the door already pale. He knew. His smirk was gone, replaced by twitching fear. "You set me up," he spat. "No," I said, voice even. "You set yourself up. I just kept the receipts." He lunged with words, not fists. "She'll forgive me. They always do." I stepped closer, my eyes fixed on him until he couldn't hold the stare. "She won't. Not this time." The sound of patrol cars approached in the distance. He heard it too. His face collapsed, all bluster evaporating. I leaned in, low enough for him alone. "She's safe now. You're finished." And I stepped back, leaving him in his own collapsing house of lies, sirens closing in. My niece sleeps peacefully now. No flinching at footsteps, no bruises hidden beneath sleeves. My sister, she lives with her regret. She chose silence until silence betrayed her. I don't hate her. I don't forgive her either. Some choices can't be undone. As for him, he is where men like him belong, caged, stripped of control, his snarls echoing only against concrete walls. I feel nothing for him, no triumph, no satisfaction, because revenge isn't about rage, it's about restoration, and I restored what mattered. The last thing I told him still lingers in my mind. She's safe, you're nothing, and that is the only verdict that matters.